The year is 2307 Anno Domini. Mankind has depleted all fossil fuels, forcing people to seek new sources of energy. This resulted in 3 orbital elevators, which allow them to collect solar energy in space. With this, mankind huddled around 3 of them, forming new blocks. We have the Union, the AEU, and the Human Reform League. During this chaotic time, a private military group called Celestial Being began to drive up plans in order to bring mankind together. Over time, they built mobile suits called Gundams and selected pilots known as Gundam Meisters to forge ahead on a new path for mankind. During the 3rd generation, we ended up introducing ourselves to the Gundam Meisters as they descended to Earth to enact the plans of Eolia Shinberg. Welcome everyone to our Gundam 00 starter deck preview for the Celestial Drive deck that's coming out here this weekend. I'm going to take you through the structure of the deck, we'll look at its cost, its curve, we'll do some test draws, and figure out some additional cards we can use to allow us to upgrade this deck as GBO3 comes out in a few weeks. So let's go ahead and pull up our starter deck and take a look here a bit more as to what we're getting. So we have 23 green cards, 27 purple cards, which means that we're locked into these 2 colors if you're going to play a true Celestial Being deck, which at the moment you're going to need to because these cards only work with other Celestial Being pilots or units. On our low end, we have the level 2 cost 2 Gundam Kyrios Fight Mode, which link pairs with Alleluia or Hallelujah Haptism, 3 AP, 1 HP. Level 3 cost 2 is Gundam Dynamis. It has 3 AP, 3 HP, link pairs with Lock-on Stratos. Level 3 cost 2, the Gundam Kyrios comes in. During your turn, while you have a Celestial Being pilot in play, this unit gains AP plus 2. It also has 2 AP, 3 HP, and link pairs with Alleluia or Hallelujah Haptism. Gundam Virtue, level 3, cost 2. It has 3 AP, 3 HP. Link pairs with Tierra Arde. While you have a Celestial Being pilot in play, this unit gains blocker. Gundam Axia, level 4, cost 2. 4 AP, 3 HP. Link pairs with Setsuna FCA. The Gundam Dynamis, level 4, cost 3. 2 AP for HP. During your turn, when this unit destroys an enemy unit with battle damage, this unit recovers 2 HP. During Link, this unit gets AP plus 2. Gundam Virtue, level 5, cost 3. 5 AP for HP, Link pairs with Tierra Arde. Gundam Exia, level 5, cost 4. 4 AP, 4 HP, link pairs with Setsuna FCA. At the end of your turn, if there are 7 or more Celestial Being cards in your trash, choose one of your resources and set it as active. When paired, place the top 2 cards in your deck into your trash. If you place a Celestial Being card with this effect, draw 1. Alleluia Haptism, level 3, cost 1, burst, add this card to your hand. During this turn, while you have a Celestial Being Link unit in play, this unit cannot receive battle damage from enemy units with 3 or less HP. Adds 1 AP and 1 HP. Lock-on Stratus Neil, level 4, cost 1, burst, add this card to your hand. If this is a Celestial Being unit, it may choose an active enemy unit level equal or lower than this unit as its attack target during this turn. Adds 1 AP, adds 2 HP. Setsuna FCA, level 4, cost 1. Burst, add this card to your hand. Attack, this unit gets AP plus 1 during this turn. If there are 7 or more Celestial Being cards in your trash, all of your Celestial Being units get AP plus 1 instead. Adds 2 AP and 1 HP. Tierra Arde, level 4, cost 1. Burst, add this card to your hand. When destroyed, if it is your opponent's turn and this is a Celestial Being unit, draw 1 card, plus 1 AP, plus 1 HP. Tactical Visionary, level 1, cost 1. May look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You may reveal 1 Celestial Being unit or pilot card among them and add it to your hand. Return the remaining cards randomly to the bottom of your deck. Armed Intervention, level 4, cost 1. First, draw 1. Choose one rested friendly celestial being unit. Change the attack target, battling the enemy unit with it. Fatal Strike. Let's do this real quick, because the one in the deck is going to be this one with Gundam Virtue. Level 4, cost 2. Burst, choose one enemy unit, deal 1 damage to it. Main, choose one enemy unit, level 3 or lower, and destroy it. And to wrap this up, the last card in the starter deck is the Ptolemaeus. It is a level 2 cost 1 base, 0 AP, 5 HP. Burst, deploy this card. On deploy, add one of your shields to your hand. While a rested friendly celestial being unit is in play, this base cannot receive damage from enemy units that are level 3 or lower other than unit tokens. So this deck works really well with a lot of different synergies. The one thing you should note that you have no real effects, no burst, no rest, no breach damage, which means the only way you're getting rid of cards is to either finish them off through trades or fatal striking them if they're low enough, which means you gotta be very careful in doing that. This starter deck does give you a lot of pilots to work with though, so unlike other decks where you only get 8, 10, and they're not great pilots, the Celestial Beings Gundam Meisters can do a lot for you. Although you can trade into low-end units without taking damage. Lockhand can attack low-end units that are active. Setsuna buffs everyone, and Tierra allows you to draw cards. Gundam Exia is your other form of draw, where you can go ahead and pair a card with it. You can draw cards. And then you've got Armed Intervention, which allows you to draw a card on the burst effect. I really like this card because when paired with Gundam Exia, if you get that one additional resource stood back up, you can throw Armed Intervention down and force your opponent to run into your guy, saving your shields. You get a blocker at least only 3, so be wise when you decide to block, because that's the only time you're going to be able to take a hit unless you have Armed Intervention. And yeah, let's take a look at the stats here. Unit-wise, we're at 26 units altogether. You're at 12 pilots, which is pretty much on the high end of our curve. Typically, we see people playing around 9 to 11, so a little bit higher than normal, but not out of the question. Commands, about even. Got 8 altogether. Those are your Armed Intervention, your Fatal Strike, and your Tactical Visionary. And then our Ptolemaeus base makes up our 4 bases. Overall cost, this is a low-cost deck, meaning that we have a lot of cards that we can play that are only 1 or 2 cost. We don't have anything above 4, so there is a good chance that you may be able to double tap on 2 units and allow you to link pair twice, and that could be something to look forward to as you're playing through the weekend. Your opponent may be a little bit more anxious and only link pair 1, and you may want to hold back and link pair 2, so that way you can take out a unit and take out a shield at the same time. Our overall level distribution is about okay-ish for a curve for starter deck. We don't have very many high-end units, so which is why we don't see anything past level 5, but we do have a lot of options to play cards at level 3 and 4, and we do have some early game cards that we can play on turns 1 and 2, which is very uncommon in decks outside of the aggro decks. If we take a look at our highlights, our odds, we're seeing that we do have a good chance of playing an early card, meaning our level 1s and our level 2s. Getting 2 of them is straight out of the question, as there's a very little chance of doing so. Getting that base in your hand is very unlikely, as it's looking like you're only have a 35% chance of getting the Ptolemaeus out in play. The pilot cards, since we do have 12, there's a good chance you're going to get one in your starting hand. Maybe get a second one, not likely. And we do have a fair amount of bursts. We got 12 bursts and 17 bursts in this deck, so you may be getting some of those pilots back in as your opponents are summoning into you. With that, let's go ahead and take a look at our hand. To sort this out, we'll do a full simulation. So for our starting hand, this isn't too bad. We're looking at the fact that we have something to play at level 2, at level 3, and nothing at level 4. You may not be mulliganing a whole lot in this deck because, again, you do have a lot of low to the ground cards to play with, so it's not a bad choice to just keep those cards there. And then we're drawing a Dynamis, and then, yeah, we've got a live, so not too bad to get those pilots. If we take a look at the history, I've ran this a few times where we kept cards, and we do end up getting things like Oh, on our shield area, we do get a couple of our bursts, like our couple of pilots. So we get 2 in that one. We get 2 Ptolemaeus bases in another one that I simulated, and so forth. So the chances of getting something to play on turns 2 and 3 are very likely, and we do end up seeing that we do get bases and pilots in our burst area quite frequently. And with that, that's pretty much all I have for our analysis of the deck in terms of the hard stat numbers. Hopefully that will help you make decisions on knowing that you're going to be seeing a lot of your Celestial Being pilots. Just know that we only have one during Link effect, and that's on the Gundam Dynamis here with Lock on Stratus. The only other pair that we've got is Gundam Exia, which is any Celestial Being pilot paired with it. So you don't necessarily need Setsun on the Gundam Exia to do that. You can link pair with anything else. In fact, it may not be bad to toss Tyria on the Exia, depending on how things go, because if you arm intervention onto that, you get to draw a card, which isn't a bad play either. So what happens when GD03 comes out, right? What other cards do we get? Well, you get this Curios, 05 cost 3. This has a during Link phase with Hallelujah Haptism. And during this turn, when this unit destroys an enemy unit with battle damage, deal 1 damage to all enemy units level 3 or lower. So good against, someone's playing either aggro or low blockers. Then Curios tail unit flight mode. Again, Link pairs with Hallelujah Haptism. Like a Celestial Being Link unit in play, this card in your hand costs -1. So if you happen to have something else out there, you can play this for a 2 cost and get away with it. So Gundam Exia Trans Am made a lot of splashes when this card was revealed, because not only does it have suppression, but it can kill a card. It does not need a win paired effect or win linked effect to pull us off, and this kills anything. So if your opponent only has 1 unit at play, does not matter if it has full health or a little bit of damage, it will straight up remove it from the board. Gundam Armor Type B for Exia. One of the few blockers that you get that has some decent health. It link pairs with any Celestial Being pilot, so it's a good another tier Arde link pair. And then starter deck. Okay, and yeah, so we don't get too many options to customize this deck when GD03 comes up, but there's a couple things you can do to get rid of some of the vanilla cards. As I said before, all our Celestial Being pilots are in the starter deck, and we only get 1 base for the whole set right now. I will tell you, as a Gundam MMO fan, there's more to come. This series is probably about, I'd say about maybe 2/3 of the way through the series before we start getting more cool Celestial Being stuff, including additional Trans Am forms of the other Gundam Meisters Gundams. So if you go take a look at the cards, we're going to sort, and we're going to filter these through, since we're not caring about anything other than bases, commands. We can take a look and see what options we have to kind of help us out with trying to find some new cards in. Map tag just doesn't help us a whole lot. Look at Determination. That might not be a bad thing if you want to find room for it. You're going to have a lot of cards in your trash, so the ability to kill 4 card off is going to be pretty consistent for you, so it's not a bad one to have. And it is during an action phase, so it would be kind of ridiculous if you end up taking out something more interesting, like a launcher strike or something that's paired with the Kira. Bridge Crew, this one isn't too bad. I don't know, choose 1 friendly unit during this turn and may choose an active enemy unit that has no pilot paired with it as an attack target. Not bad. It allows you to kind of pick on something that has no link. So if you're trying to get to someone's, like, for example, if you're playing against the red blue and they have a Baku out there that they didn't tap down, but it's a threat, this kind of helps you get through them and take them down. Orders, helps you play Tekkening stuff, doesn't help. Kanban, you don't have a clan unit, no clans, no clan. Hammerhead, we don't have tailless cards. Freedom might not be a bad. If you're looking for an additional base, playing the Freedom helps you mill cards from your deck, meaning they'll take the top cards. They'll help get your Celestial Being, and if you're playing the Lurk of Determination cards in there. So it's not a bad one to have either. Diva only helps with Federation, no Sodon, no Vultures. Tekkanen. This you should find a spot for at least 2 of. This helps you get back your tier areas and your Setsunas if needed, and help get your pilots back into your hand. Since you have a lot of low-end cards, this is helpful for late game if you definitely need that Setsuna to link pair with Trans Am Exia. This is a way to fish it back out to help you out. Definitely know if it decisive asteroid defeats the purpose. Awakened Power. I don't like this in Celestial Being too much. It does allow you to get back maybe your Gundam Dynamis with Walk-On if you're playing that route. But I think there's some, unless you're really desperate, you're going to be paying 5 for that card. So, and if you don't have the Lock-On, I don't know if it's worth it, but it might be worth experimenting with maybe one of 2 of them. You kind of see if it's needed. Valedictorian, don't play with tokens. Don't really need that. We don't have new types. We don't have age systems. Easter egg. It's an okay deck. It's an okay card for the deck. Since you're trading a lot and you may need the extra boost, maybe. I kind of like the freedom over this for Millen, to be honest. Right, Fail Strike, Iron Blade. I don't know. I don't feel like picking our guys since you're already in a bad spot for that. Underground base, nothing wrong with a strong low wind base. I don't know if you want to play with it or not. If you want to try to play with the cards to give you better effects, but all this fails and you're falling to aggro, throw this back in. Zanzibar, don't think that this is any better than what we've seen. Rashid's Orders. She's level 1. We don't have too many high-end cards, so I don't know if this is going to work too well. Fortress Defense, we don't have really much to do with it. No Gundam or G-Team for Path of Victory. The card that everyone hates, I wish it was better. And then the Blue Giants, First Contact, we don't really care about resources. Our deck's pretty low to the ground. Susan is Take a Stand, all units got +2. You already get this with Setsuna, so it's not worth the space. The Fall Mill, tokens again, St. Gabriel Institute. I don't know if we do a lot of range area, Tactical Visionary, and Peaceful Timber, and Small Taste Fire. I don't think any one of these fits in our deck because we don't units for them and their effects aren't great. So not much we can really hope for. I think it kind of depends if you're going to go back to the deck that we were kind of looking at. If we're looking here, there's a couple ways to build your deck out. We can look at building it with focusing on 3. Setsuna, definitely a must. Lock-On is probably a definite must. And then your options are to either you can go a little bit more aggressive and play with Hallelujah, or if you want to play a little bit more conservative and reserved, tier is your best bet for them. I personally think that with the way things are going with Hallelujah should be only reserved if you find yourself in a meta-heavy event, because the fact with that aggressive, because this guy can trade into those low-end units and not die. And if you arm an intervention and you have the Ptolemeo space, it might be worth it. With that concludes our coverage of the Celestial Dragon deck. Good luck to all of you this upcoming weekend. We'll come back tomorrow with another video focusing on the Gundam Hathaway starter deck. And with that, got nothing else for you. And so this is Sal with Operation Meteor signing off.